Okay, Jordan, Nintendo announced their new system in the most Nintendo way possible.
What'd they do?
They basically said, okay, we're not talking about our new system, which is coming out in the next fiscal year. The president of Nintendo said, we will make an announcement about the successor to Switch within this fiscal year, but not at the next Nintendo Direct. That's just about games. And everybody was like, we didn't know you never announced, we've just been guessing.
That's so weird.
I know.
Is there a name?
No, we know nothing yet.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see if they call it the Super Switch as I prophesied they would.
I thought that you said, when I looked at the script, I thought that it was called Furukawa.
No, that's the president of Nintendo.
Okay. I was like, why such an obscure name? Welcome everyone to the Blimey podcast. Every Friday we make the world a little less messy. We don't even try, we just do it.
I took that out just for you.
Good. My name is Jordan.
And I'm Josh. Hey, would you like to come to camp with us? We'd love to see you here in Tennessee, September 20th to the 22nd for BlimeyCon 2024. If you've ever wanted to roast s'mores and talk about conspiracy theories with us, this is the chance you've been waiting for.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing live video recordings. We're playing games, tons of activities. So if that sounds interesting to you, go to blimeycow.com/BlimeyCon 2024. Early bird ticket sales end on May 16th, so get your tickets now, please. I don't want you to miss
price
out.
imaginable.
Yes.
If you want a free Blimey Cow shirt, then head over to supportblimeycow.com because when you join, you get a free Blimey Cow shirt as our way of saying thank you. You also get exclusive video content like a bonus segment of the podcast and bonus messages. So head over to supportblimeycow.com to join the best community on the internet. And I'm actually hosting Survivor this month. I'm doing online Survivor. Thanks to Daphne Self, Eli Parasot, and Luke Hodge, who all joined this week. You guys are awesome.
Easy names this week.
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good.
Don't forget to check out the Clips channel, everything you love about the podcast without this darn time commitment. New clips uploaded every day. YouTube.com/@BlimeyCowClips. Check it out. You're gonna love it. Thanks to Clean Fiction for sponsoring this episode. This print and digital magazine strives to place amazing clean fiction in the hands of those who would enjoy it. They specialize in curating indie fiction and small presses, so you'll always be finding out about new books that you wouldn't hear about otherwise.
If you're interested in reading a Christian-based publication that reviews and promotes both religious fiction as well as clean secular fiction, Clean Fiction is the magazine you didn't realize you needed.
Yes, these pages contain book reviews from genre-specific reviewers, plus they're really cool serial stories from independent authors, devotions, poetry, and articles about various submissions.
It's a fantastic community, and for the next 2 Fridays, Clean Fiction is offering Blimey Cow fans a free digital version of the magazine, so click the link in the description to check it out. Only available for free on Fridays, so get it quick.
Click the link in the description to get a free digital version of Clean Fiction, and then head to cleanfictionmagazine.com to find everything you need to get plugged into this amazing magazine. Do it.
Do it. All right, let's get into top stories.
So Josh informed me that I already told you guys about the old maple tree that fell in my woods. Well, things have changed because the same maple tree is still fallen. But I was going to cut simply a door in the trunk of the tree because it's so big you could walk through it. A little kid could walk through it. Anybody could. An adult could. And so what I'm thinking about now, and I think that you've actually, you sparked this in me when you came over. You said,
yes.
What if you made like a ladder inside of the tree? Oh, yeah. And as soon as you said that, I was like, huh. Well, first I thought that's impossible. And then when you left and I thought about it more, I was like, wait, that's exactly what it should be.
Nothing is impossible.
I should carve out the center of this because the outside wood, I assessed it. I've been on top of this thing. I'll put a video of me doing that. To assess this tree. And the wood all on the outside looks good. Just the inside, it's amazing. It's like compost that's like this deep. I just scrape it away. It's ridiculous.
That's cool.
So I'm just gonna etch all of that out, and then you're gonna be able to walk in it's not gonna be a perfect door. It's just gonna be like, it's a hollowed out tree. So you're just gonna walk into the tree how it's naturally hollowed out.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna be able to climb a ladder, and on top of this is gonna be a treehouse, and the bottom of when you're climbing the ladder, it's going to go into the treehouse.
That's awesome.
That's the plan. So I haven't seen anybody do this online at all. Like I've seen people cut outdoors in trees, but there's no video on how to preserve a tree.
How is the treehouse above going to be supported?
When we do like the base of it,
okay,
I'm gonna have to put some
4x4s
in the
6x6s?
ground there.
Okay.
Most likely. I think if it's bigger, if it's like 2 sheets of plywood, I'm going to have to do that. If not, I can probably just triangulate it and connect it to the
tree itself.
Trunk itself.
That's what I was wondering about. Well, if you're hollowing it out, will there be enough
exactly,
support
that's what I
for
don't.
it?
But I think I want to do 2 sheets of plywood, so that's an 8x8, which is good. I think 1 sheet. I've seen a thing with 1 sheet before, and it's like, this is pretty small.
Yeah,
it looks cool, but it's still pretty small. So if I'm like, dude, it could be 2. Then you would definitely have to support it.
You
with
need
stuff.
some long 4x4s.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be 20 foot or whatever they are.
You just had to special order those suckers. I don't think they sell. I think that the longest ones they sell at Lowe's is 16 foot. Are we still gonna dig out?
Yeah, we got to dig out and put concrete and stuff, and then it's gonna be difficult because at the same time we then have to put those 4x4s in the ground at that moment.
It's a race against time for Jordan. How much can he get done before his child gets here?
No, that's not going to be done before. But sure, let's do it. Let's try.
All right.
What's next?
What are we doing? Christian meme review.
Josh, I think you're really going to like this one.
Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes.
Listen to me. Furniture. Stop talking. Shut up and listen. Sit. I don't want to hear noise. Don't want to hear you. No.
I gotta send that to Kelly. Text that to me.
Oh man, I gotta go. That made me laugh out loud this morning.
Shut up.
Oh man.
She loves that movie too. That's what's gonna be even funnier.
This one doesn't really relate to me or you, but I thought it was clever.
Okay. Every morning in the kitchen to make coffee.
Somebody saw this and that's the first thing that they thought of, and then they filmed this to get this meme.
Man, I can't imagine. I mean, look, I think I have work from home privilege that I can't relate to that. And I drink decaf coffee in the morning.
Josh, a lot of people live very unhealthy lifestyles. You can do a lot of work and the next day wake up and feel 100% without anything. And I think it's so hard for, like, I'm talking about manual labor, and you wake up and you feel completely fine, ready to do it again.
Yeah.
I think that's difficult for people to
You got to get to bed early. You just have to get to bed early.
And not gorge yourself on food. The amount that it takes for your body to process when you've overeaten just completely destroys you the next day. Like, you wake up feeling like completely tired.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't recover.
Are you there, Dad? It's me. You.
It's me. You. Yeah, it's so confusing. It's hard to explain to people. It's like, no, it makes sense. Right?
Makes sense if you've heard it your whole life. Okay, so I'm telling it to you now your whole life.
Yeah.
So that one day it'll make sense.
When I get to heaven, saints who were martyred for their faith. Me, a guy who made memes. That's awesome. I love that.
We actually did Christian memes this week.
Mine weren't.
They kind of were.
The coffee thing? The mom screaming?
Oh yeah, that's every youth pastor. Tumbling out. Oh, another day.
Yeah, another day, not many dollars. Hello, Jordan and Josh. My husband and I are still in college. I will be graduating this summer. Do you know what summer is in French?
Été.
Été. I'll be graduating this summer, and he will be graduating next year. You know what year is in French?
Yeah.
We had our first baby last September. He's 7 months old now, and I have been trying to balance school and taking care of him. Our son came earlier than we expected, so I will have a lot of college debt when I graduate. I want to stay with my baby and eventually homeschool him after I graduate, but I am really worried about all my debt. Any advice?
It made me so mad.
I was so distracted with the French. I'd sit here, and when I'm reading stuff, I'm like, it's weird. I don't even mean to do it. I just like see the word school. I know what that is. So my brain, the process is school, eco. Then I move on to the next word. And if I know it, I just am thinking about that because I feel like I'm constantly praying. I'm constantly, you're supposed to pray without ceasing.
Without ceasing.
I do French without ceasing.
French without ceasing.
Anyways, her problem is I will be graduating this summer and he will be graduating next year, but they've taken on so much debt and they're having their first baby in what
they
do I
had
do?
their first baby, 7 months old, but she wants to stay home with the baby and homeschool, but she's got all this debt. What does she do?
Go back in time. This is so sad. That's the easiest thing to do. Come up with a machine. And don't sell the machine for the patents because you have a patent. Don't just use it for your own to go back in time and then just destroy the machine because it would destroy society, but it would save your life.
Paradoxes. Yeah, it makes me. I picked this message because it just makes me so mad. You're just told your whole life you got to go to college.
Yeah,
and then you all of a sudden end up in a situation where you're like, wait, but now. College is what's stopping me from doing my life.
She's caught in the middle
She's
of all this.
made her bed. So what does she do? I don't know. This is what I say. You know what I say?
No.
Don't pay it.
See what happens.
Just see what happens. What are they going to do to you?
I don't know.
Arrest you?
Are you allowed to give that advice? I mean,
now I don't think people should just go to college and not pay. I'm saying don't go to college. And if you're now stuck in the situation where you did go to college and get in all this debt, I mean, look, who are you giving the money to? The college? Well, they're bad people. Or the government? They're also bad people.
So what are they?
I don't feel any moral obligation to pay either of those groups for a service they rendered to me.
What would they do to you?
I think that they just would say, "Oh, your credit score is 0. You can't afford a house, which you could have done had you had a good credit score." Oh wait, no, you can't. So
yeah, you can't. You'd have to rent anyways because now they're all buying up all the houses, like all these companies. So you're not going to be able to get a house anymore, like because all of it. The next generation is absolutely screwed.
Yeah.
They're going to be renters forever. It's all going to be based on if my family owned a house, then at least one of the kids are going to be able to own a house because they'll just give it to them.
Exactly.
And then it'll be like,
one kid will get a house.
Yeah, it's going to go back to the firstborn or the ones who screwed up the least is going to get something. It's going to go back to biblical times.
Yeah. That's true.
It is.
Yeah, I don't think this is sustainable for very much longer because, I mean, look, when we were growing up, you still had some hope that... And we did. We were able to buy houses.
Yeah, but nobody else can.
But you can't
We
now.
were the last generation to be able to do that.
And if I was in the situation these kids were now, and then I see the way that the government is like sending foreign aid just all over the place, doing all this stupid stuff.
And I've got to rent eternally.
And I got to rent eternally?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think all of this is just going to get out of control.
Yeah.
Like whoever's pulling the strings behind the scenes and making politicians do stuff that they're like, guys, you've got all my text messages. It doesn't matter. You're going to do this. You're all going to wave these flags in Congress and stuff, even though we know it's going to pee everybody off. It's like, all right, I guess I don't want my life to be destroyed, so I'll do that. Sure. But then all these other kids who are growing up, they're seeing this, and the CIAs, they're not going to be able to make a plan for the craziness that everyone is feeling. Like all the people who are 18 now, who are like, they know that unless they hit it big on social media,
right,
they're never going to be able to own a house.
And that's why all these kids are doing influencer culture, social, because that's their only hope of getting out of it.
I know. I was literally just.
That's their only hope of getting out of the projects. You know what I mean?
Is getting big online.
Yeah.
So they all just post on Instagram all day long, praying to God. It's a lottery. It's literally a lottery.
Whoever the TikTok algorithm,
exactly,
the Instagram algorithm, the YouTube algorithm.
If I can just get crazy popular for maybe 2 years.
This is exactly what this is like. This is the best case scenario for the elite. It's like, look, we dictate who gets famous. We've always done that, but now we do it even with the regular people.
You're so right. It's just like a king who is giving plots of land and money to people that he likes. It's the same thing. It's just undercover now by some god, the algorithm that we always talk about.
Yeah.
Well, we just uncovered a lot of truth, and joy has no joy right now. and I don't know how to help her.
I mean, this is the honest truth. If this is the situation you find yourself in, where the options are go be a slave to labor, like just to go work some job you're gonna hate, just to pay back the government or your university or whoever the heck you pay now to pay off your loans. If the options are to do that, or to raise your own child and not have to send them off to daycare or to someone else's house
With
for
your
the
credit
day.
score tanked.
Yeah. Like I always say, I would
Make your own
I
decisions.
would live in the poorhouse before I would send my kid off anywhere. All right, I guess sorry, I'm gonna send you off to public school because I gotta work because I gotta make money. No, we will find a way.
Yeah.
To
Post on social media. Try and get famous. Try and
Anything.
get out. Yeah, try and hit it big.
for real.
If that's the answer.
I'll live on rice and beans and rice. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll deliver pizzas. I'll do anything. After the kids go to sleep, I'll do anything not to send them off to school. Anything. Joy, your heart is in the right place.
So everything's going to work out.
Everything is going to be fine. You're worried about the right things in life.
Let's get to conspiracy theory.
Here we go.
You know, this bird flu thing's going around. I mean, like, I don't see it gaining traction. How could
I know.
the perfect right before the election? How can you buy it? Unless it really does start to like actually just completely kill a ton of people, and then it's like, see, this was the real one. We warned you. You thought it was a scam. No, people are really dying now.
We injected a bird, and this time it worked. This time
it's way more effective.
This time it's actually killing everybody.
It's way
so
more.
hide in your homes. A few weeks ago we talked about how the foreign governments were going to take over. What was it? The electric grid or the water? It was one or the other. It was the water. They were going to stop our water.
Yeah.
And we were like, is this the next crisis?
Turns out it wasn't. It may be.
No,
but it's
well,
bird flu.
I mean, they're always dropping these little bird droppings all over the place. Like, yeah, they're just dropping these little like, oh, maybe it'll be this thing, and then in like 6 months, when it happens, like we told you, we laid the groundwork. So now the next laying of the groundwork is bird flu.
They're trying to figure out which option they're gonna take.
At least get some new material, guys. Okay. This is from Axios. Look at counties where avian flu has been detected.
Okay, well, it hasn't hit Tennessee yet.
We're okay for now. This gives me flashbacks to like, here are the hotspots for COVID. You remember this?
Yeah, but like you can't do it again.
Could avian influenza be the next COVID-19? Forbes just came right out and said it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
At least they're honest.
Yeah. So, this is a highly pathogenic avian influenza.
But this is confusing though, because at the same time, the New York Times is just coming out and then talking about the vaccine stuff and how, did you see that?
Right. Yeah. Something about that. I don't remember what it said.
But it was more on the right where it's like, oh, are people getting injured?
People were getting hurt from it? Yeah.
That was the question they were raising.
We're going to get a little thing on the bottom of this episode.
Well, then I'll bleep the word. But then at the same time, now they're pushing a new one.
Well, yeah, because when one is done, then you finally say, all right, yeah, that stuff we were telling you were crazy for thinking that's actually true. But no, don't worry, we got a new one now.
That's hard to imagine.
Look
I'm
at the
confused.
first photo of Texas farm worker who caught bird flu, bleeding in his eyeballs. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Hope that farmer will be okay. Good grief. I remember every year or 2 or 3, they would say, oh, it's here's the new virus, the swine flu. It was always something or other, but they never gained traction. Mm-hmm. Could this be just... it gets them the clicks to hype it up. Yeah. And now everything is going to be, could this be the next COVID-19?
They got it. I'm waiting. The election's coming around. I'm waiting. Is it the protests? What is it? I can't figure out. I feel like it's everywhere.
It's always, it's always that pre-election fever in the air. It's like a pre-Christmas. It's like, oh, there's just something in the air.
Yeah.
It's a bird flu in the air. It's chaos in the streets. It's all very exciting, but we are into May, and so whatever the narrative is going to be, they really need to focus and nail it down because we've only, what is it now? This is the 5th month of the year. So we got six. Okay, we got 6 more months. When they find the thing, it'll be, in a week, it'll be like, I don't remember a time before this was the news.
Yeah.
You're living in this framework where it's like, I don't even know how good I have it right now because at some point, some week down the line, it's just going to be this thing all the time. And the question is really going to be, will people go for it this time? I really think that people are very detached because that's how I feel at this point.
Yeah, we were talking about it's like you're on the outside looking in.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like.
I don't feel involved in any of it. In fact, I see stuff going on in the news. I was just talking to you about some of it. I was like, I don't feel like I have a dog in this fight at all. I'm just hearing opinions about it, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Oh, well, that made sense. Anyways, back to life. You know,
it doesn't affect you.
I don't
every day.
Yeah, but even the things that do affect me to some degree, I just feel detached from all of it. At some point, I feel like they're all just so. Everyone is so gross and bad and corrupt. It's like, what? Why give them the decency, the courtesy of even giving them a piece of my brain, even for a minute, to be concerned or be worried about it? It's like, look, you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Little me, I can't do anything about it. Just gotta trust it's all gonna be good. And you guys are just, if I'm right and you guys are all as disgusting and corrupt as it seems like you are, then your time to reign will soon be at an end.
Yeah,
as Maximus says.
Yeah.
The time for exalting yourself will soon be at an end. One of the best lines in cinematic history. Anyways.
Yeah. Even the people that you look at and you're like, can I trust this person or not? Tucker Carlson, great example. Apparently he wanted to be in the CIA at some point. Okay, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Who
it's
really
a weird thing to want to be in.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to try a field.
Yeah. It's like if somebody says that they want to be a politician. It's like, oh, so I can't trust you really.
Yeah, hopefully you're a good one, but like there's something
just
about it.
Based on what I know of the ones who made it, maybe you won't make it and you're fine.
But I was just listening to a little interview that he was doing, and he was interviewing the guy who wrote "I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell." It's a guy who was basically a frat bro.
Oh, okay.
And he did all sorts of terrible things.
Okay.
And everybody thought it was hilarious because he actually wrote emails before there was Facebook or anything. And he was writing emails to his friends about these funny stories of him that would happen. He's sleeping with all these people and doing all this horrible, awful stuff and partying constantly. And so he went to publishers because his friends were like, dude, you need to write a book. Actually, a very particular person, he was saying, said, you need to put these into a book and you are a writer.
Okay.
That's what your gift is. And he was like, what are you talking about? Okay. So he curated all these emails and he sent it to publishers and they were like, dude, this is the stupidest, worst thing I've ever read. And so they all said, no. And so then later on, it was like, well, forget this. I'm going to do it myself. So then he makes blogs and then they blow up like crazy. And then the publishers start running to him. Anyways, that initial person who was reading all this horrible, nasty, terrible stuff in these emails who said, you're gifted, you need to be a writer, was one of Tucker Carlson's friends, great friends. And this dude was like, you know this guy? And Tucker was, before he knew what he was going to say, he was like, oh yeah. He was like, he's the one who told me that I should write this book. It was like, how do you know these people? Who are your friends?
Yeah.
Were you like this?
Yeah.
It's I think everybody was like that who went to these universities.
I see
and
what
then
you're
it's
saying.
well, we all just don't talk about it.
Right.
That was our past life, but it was awesome.
Right.
That was our past life. Now we have kids now. Now we're going to tell you to stop having sex and all this stuff because that's what's popular now.
But it was just a college thing,
It was
everybody does the college thing.
Right. It was totally normal to do that. But now we're all Christians and we have kids now. And now obviously you shouldn't do this stuff. Obviously.
Anybody who tells
so dumb.
Anybody who tells me they were in a frat or a sorority in college, okay. Yeah. Unless you had some real come to Jesus moment, you are just your brain space is in a world that mine does not exist in. Jordan, we've had a problem on our YouTube channel. for a while, and I don't know what to do to stop it. But we've had these like porn spam bots that comment immediately as soon as we post videos. And all I can do is try to remember each time that it happens. God forbid I forget. And then they're just there for hours.
Yeah.
But I got to go in and say spam, spam, spam. Now, YouTube, who may very well put a little context thing underneath this very video, automatically, just because we talked about certain spicy topics, can't find a way to just stop the spam bots?
No.
That's a pet peeve.
Yeah. It really does feel like, just from certain I remember you showed me some video. You wanted to show me like some, I think we were talking about how kind of sick and perverted the media or movies are in like these innocent movies that you would watch in the 90s. Because I was saying there's just like a weird, like kind of weird feeling of like they make kids seem old.
Right.
And do mature things.
Like the movie Big.
Right. Maybe an adult kisses the child in some weird
like in
thing.
Blank Check.
And I was like, what are you talking? There's no way they did that. Here, and Josh typed in to show me the scene because I couldn't believe that would happen in a movie. And sure enough, that happened. I was like, what the heck? That's so messed up. And people just watched this back then like this was normal. But then what was weird was that on your sidebar, it was like it wasn't you logged in. It was like all of these weird suggested videos on the side that was like, oh, you're interested in this weird scene with this kid? Here's some other weird scenes on the side that you can click through. And it's like, these are, and it was like, what are these from? It literally felt like you weren't logged into your account. And it was like, oh, this person has searched on this, maybe innocently. But let's see if they like this now. It literally felt that way.
Others who watched this also liked
this too.
Did you like this?
The other day I was searching, I was trying to fix my lawnmower, and I'm literally searching to find a specific thing on steering cylinders and how to install it on a 425, like the most specific thing to search.
Yeah.
And so, you're going through every video scrolling. You're just scrolling, not even for that long, but you're scrolling through the top 20 videos to see, all right, is this guy how long is the video? Does the thumbnail look okay? What's it saying? Then all of a sudden it gets to For You. Like it skips all the suggested stuff for, not the suggested, but the very specific things I'm looking for. And then in like no time at all, it's like, he's got to be bored. He's not finding what he wants. Let's put a For You thing. And so then it says For You. And then it's got a bunch of these like crazy perverted videos, like just blatantly, almost pornographic. Like, and I was like, I have never like at all.
Right.
It was the strangest thing. And this was very consistent. It happened multiple times. And so I always, if I see that, I always go through and click, and click spam or sexual content, whatever it is.
Were they shorts or were they like actual videos?
No, they were like actual videos. Okay. It was very strange. Like, I mean, like crazy stuff that I don't even want to say because I was like, how did this even pop up? That's weird. And it was like very consistent. It's clearly programmed in there somehow. It's like, is there a certain kind of person who's looking up lawnmower fix and they know that this specific kind of person is prone to this kind of weird thing? Because it was like, it literally could be that. Because like now that I'm thinking about the theme of it was like, okay, I can see somebody who's interested in fixing mowers would be interested in like, this thing at the county fair at this weird like I don't even have a guess.
They're clearly very, very, very sophisticated. That's why it's so ridiculous that it's like, hey, clearly nobody wants these porn spam bots in their comment section. So just it's very obvious if they exist there consistently that you're not doing something to fix it, even though us and many other people are flagging it every time it shows up. Are you just like, you have an automation for every other thing, but not for this?
Yeah, you can find
this should be done in 2 seconds.
You can literally identify music, even if it's altered in like 5 seconds. It's incredible. But you can't see a picture and like know that that's not appropriate.
Right.
It's amazing.
Or just even know like, oh, hey, these seem to come from these accounts over and over again.
Yeah. Who knows?
It's just crazy. It's really, that makes me mad. People might not know this, but here's the kind of the editing schedule around here. Jordan and I take turns editing the podcast.
Yeah.
And then I edit Christian Meme Review, and Jordan edits Jordan's messages. I don't... Christian Meme Review, I like video editing. I do. I'm very good, fast, and I'm very good at it. Christian Meme Review, for some reason, it has always been a difficult edit for me. I don't get a lot of enjoyment out of it, even though when I go back and watch old videos, I think I do a good job. It's fun. With no remembrance of what I've edited, I'm like, oh, this is a fun show.
Yeah.
I feel like I do a decently good job, like keeping it going and making it enjoyable when you're watching it. But the other day, it had been one of those situations where we shot it like a couple of weeks ago, and I hadn't edited it yet, and I was just really dreading editing it. And I walk when I work, but I've been trying to say, hey, if I want to sit down and work instead of walk on the treadmill while I edit, that might be better, and I'll probably do it faster, especially a show like Meme Review where it's got a lot of heavy edits and stuff. But it finally just dawned on me because I had slept in. Yeah. Slept in means like I slept until 5:30 and got up when the kids got up. And I was out in the living room, and it just finally occurred to me. I was with Isaac, and I said, Isaac, do you want to edit Christian Meme Review with me today? And he's like, yeah. So I just brought my laptop upstairs, and that's just what we did that day. Instead of me being down here by myself, dreading it, being miserable, we had a great time upstairs. He laughed the whole time. Anytime you and I laughed in the video, he was like, what are you laughing at? I was like, we'll put the memes in at the end, okay? And so then we put the memes. He's like, oh, that's why you were laughing. And it was really fun. It was like one. You know how sometimes you have a moment where you feel like stuck in something, and then all of a sudden, like you have like a paradigm shift that you're like, what? I don't have to do it this way.
Yeah,
I could do it a different way. Oh. Then I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
And that was what it was. And so instead of it being like this thing that was keeping me from hanging out with my kids, it became a thing that I enjoyed doing that was with my kids. So that was just, it was encouraging. It's nice every once in a while when you realize, hey, I don't have to always do the same things the same ways over and over again.
Exactly.
I can change things sometimes because human beings like to do that.
Yeah, and that's cool because then it's like passing down the trade.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's right.
That's pretty cool.
He's good with computers already. He keeps saying, I want to learn the hard language. I was like, C? Yeah, I want to learn C.
The hard language.
That's what he calls it. I want to learn the hard language. Because I told him, well, maybe I'll teach you, we'll learn Java or Python. No, I want to learn the hard language. I want to learn C. Like, you've been talking to your uncle. I want to learn the foundations. He didn't say that.
I didn't think so.
There you go. Anyways, that's mine.
Mine is learning the art of upkeeping. Always, like I was just thinking, like everything that you own, you have to upkeep. Even if it's food, unless you eat it immediately, you have to upkeep that it's okay.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But literally everything that you own in your house is, I've got to upkeep this at some point, or if not, it just deteriorates. I feel like finally this year, I have figured out like enough things that's clicking that the upkeep isn't like the biggest, it isn't like a stress, it's just like automated. Even if it's like my lawnmower breaking, or now it's like, oh, okay, now I'm really into, wow, there's an upkeep schedule for this mower so this doesn't happen. That you can literally look up, it's on the mower. It says at this many hours you need to adjust this thing, at this many hours you need to adjust this thing. So just kind of getting into that, and when it's like, at night or whatever, and I'm also trying to shift away from like, how do people do hard things? You think, how do people like get so much done? Not that getting stuff done is the biggest goal, but like how are people so useful to themselves and others all the time? And how when they're 50 have they built all this stuff and done all this stuff and held down a job? And I was thinking it's literally because they've every day they made hard things easier by practicing them. Yeah. And so so now the things that I think are impossibly difficult to them are easy. I mean, it's the same as anything. Like, to us, video editing is easy.
Right.
But to somebody who's never done it before, it's like,
Right.
what is like the
What
craziest
am I
thing
looking
ever.
at? Yeah.
You know, it would take them years to finally be able to make it like, oh, I can edit this in 3 hours.
Right.
You know, and I can clean my house after that. Or
Yeah.
then I can play with my kids. To them,
Yeah.
it'd be like, this would take me a month
Right.
to learn all this. And
Right.
yeah, that's how everything is. But to finally have enough things under your belt that are difficult to your average person, to then transition them to start to tip the scale of like, oh, those are now becoming easier.
Yeah.
is a very good feeling, because then at the end of the day, the relaxing things that before were like watching TV, watching Netflix, whatever. Now the relaxing things are like things that were once difficult.
Right.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
well, now I can go outside and like just relaxing. I can like clean my mower.
Yeah.
You know, it's not.
That's true.
It's like I don't have to. Like I'm not sitting here thinking of every single step. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, right, I've already done this. So I
Yeah.
do this, and then it's like kind of nice.
Yeah.
That's something that's is really helping me this year. I feel like I've finally kind of started to
Yeah.
tip the scale in that direction.
Yeah.
Upkeep. We recommend. You know, everyone is doing Duolingo, and God bless them. I love Duolingo. Okay, I have no beef.
No beef.
with Duolingo, but
You've talked about
Have
this
I?
before. You sure have.
to you or to everybody?
To the people at home.
Okay, well,
But
if
they might not have seen that episode.
maybe, well, if you're tired of the slowness of Duolingo, even if you skip ahead in some of the lessons, when you get to a point that you're learning, it's just it's like trudging through. It's crazy, and then it just all becomes about the streak, and then
Yeah.
it's like, well, that was good enough. I don't actually need to do anything other extracurricular with French because I got my streak on Duolingo. In your moments of weakness, when it's like at night, and you're like, well, I guess I'm just going to do Duolingo because I need to keep my streak up.
Yeah.
And it's really not doing that much for you. Well, I found this thing called Cloze Master, Cloze Master. And it's great. I don't really pay for many services.
Oh, you pay for
I
this?
pay for this one. You don't have to, but this one kind of gives you unlimited. But I'll show you a little example here of what this is. But it's pretty cool. You can do different things. You can just do vocabulary. I do listening and then transcribing. So it's hard.
Que veux-tu dire par là?
So he says that, and I have to listen to what he's saying,
Que veux-tu dire par là?
and then I have to type it out. It gives me the English translation. I try not to look at the English translation.
Oh. Oh,
he's saying-
type what he says in
Yeah,
French.
cool.
Oh, that's interesting.
See, vous and vous are similar but different. How they sound. Que vous tu dire par là. And so, like, this has been such a step up. Listening to something
Oh,
and
yeah.
having to literally write in the language.
Yeah.
I mean, it's astronomically made me better at French. Like,
That's
it's
cool.
crazy.
I can tell just from talking to you, and yeah, you've turned that corner where you've grasped it.
Yeah.
You have a handle on it, even
Like-
if you can't speak it. You know.
Exactly. It's just like kids. They're not going to speak first. They can understand
Right.
first. And then when they're ready,
Right.
they can speak. But
Yeah.
it's been really cool because now when I look at French like this, I'm not translating this into English as much as I once was. Like these words are independent
Sure.
from my English that I know.
That's cool. That's a big leap.
They
to
say
make in
that's
your
a
brain.
big thing once. And I'm just starting to get to that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of times that I'm like, man, this is taking a long time. But then at the end of the day, I go back and I watch videos of things that I've done where I've spoken French, and I'm like, wow, I feel like my French has gotten way
That's
better.
cool. And allegedly, they might be bringing back Sprint Final.
Yes, which would be amazing.
I miss it. I think
been
at
a
this
long time.
at this point, I had to just play like 2 or 3 games at a time. Back then, I had less work going on, and I could keep more games going.
What's yours?
Well, I just wanted to recommend, if you enjoy meringues, you can make them without sugar. You can make them with like monk fruit.
Is that actually how you spell that?
Meringues, that is how you spell it. And I have to look it up every time. Meringues. I don't know.
That's got to be French.
Maybe, yeah. It makes sense. It seems like a French food. Now, I'm sure that if it is French, they don't pronounce it meringue. Meringue.
No, it would be. They don't say have an ing.
Oh,
sound.
okay, maybe not. I don't know. But anyways, you can make meringues with just egg white powder and monk fruit. You don't have to use sugar. So you're making a food that has very low, really no sugar and a bunch of protein. And so you get kind of a sweet treat that's also good for you. Because the egg whites, have a ton of protein in them.
Exactly.
So anyways,
It is a French word, I think.
Oh, really?
Let's see how they say it. If it is French, I think it's going to be pronounced meringue.
Meringue. Do you know what? Have you eaten a meringue before?
Yeah, I haven't had it. I mean, I haven't had like sugar-free.
It's hard to get the consistency right where it melts in your mouth, but the taste is still good.
It's just like egg whites.
It's
all
just
it is?
egg whites. You just whip that sucker, put some
Amazing.
cream of tartar in it, and a little vanilla, and then all the monk fruit or whatnot, and then you just
Go to town.
You
Eat
just
massive quantities of it, Josh.
You do. I really do. They're so good. The boys love them too. They're great. I might make some before this day is over.
It'd be amazing. Before this day is over, I'm going to play that pinball machine that you've got.
Oh
over
yeah,
there.
we should do that.
I am obsessed with pinball. I know it's the end of the episode. The music has started. It's gotten to the point, that I'm starting to research the strategy like chess on the Addams Family, like the greatest pinball machine ever. I'm watching professionals teach you like the strategy of it, and my game has exponentially increased. Doesn't matter what pinball machine I'm on.
That was like me with Slay the Spire.
Yeah, you just
once you
upgrade.
start watching the strategies, you're like, oh, this game. I didn't realize this. Hold on, I didn't realize this game was a masterpiece.
Exactly.
Well, okay, now that I know that it's intricately detailed, then I can treat it as the art that it is, and I can get better at it. And I did.
That's what I mean. It's the exact same thing. So check out the Addams Family pinball game. So much fun. Hard but awesome.
Check out Clothes Master. Check out Sugar Free Meringues.